Growing up poor in the deep south means sharing a lot with my little brother, Ali. Most often we'd pass toys, clothes, and skin conditions between us. Up until he was 6, we even shared a bed. Neither of us was happy about that. It was my 10th birthday when that changed. I got one present that year, and it was a bed of my own. Ali was jealous right away. I can understand why. Ali was jealous right away. I could tell why. He had to keep the half broken down frame with the worn out mattress. The one I'd gotten wasn't much better, but not being broken and worn was enough. Sleeping apart was a great feeling. It was freedom. No longer would I have to suffer kicks to the stomach. No longer would I have to wake up to Ali's foot pressed into my neck like he stepped on Dracula the night before. At least that's what I thought. Right away, right after I got my new bed, the shriek started. At first, I thought Ali woke up in the middle of the night and screamed because he had gotten scared. Then the sound echoed through the tiny room again. I knew it wasn't a normal cry. The room was always black as pitch after sunset. The one window we had passed against the long leaf pine, and even the biggest, brightest moon cast no light inside. The shriek just about drove me crazy. Every night, probably at the same exact time, these sharply yelps would knock me right out of my dreams. It wasn't Mom or Dad yelling either. I knew what that sounded like, believe me. Most worrying of all was the fact that I could never tell where it was coming from. It seemed completely random. One night it could come from somewhere near the closet, an accident shoot out from on the corner of the ceiling. Any hope I have in having my own space would get dashed every time as Ali would simply slip into the bed with me, shaking like crazy. He'd clasp onto me, wouldn't let go until it was almost daybreak. Most times I'd take his hand and tell him everything was going to be okay, that it'd be over by morning. I was never really sure. Over time, the shriek started changing. At first, it was only small by degrees, but eventually it took on a primal hooting sound of a primate calling out its fierce warning. I had to clasp pillows to my ears just to keep from going deaf. Mom and Dad never could believe me or Ali, basically because the thing, whatever it is, refused to make a peep when they were in the room. Apparently they couldn't hear it through the walls, even though it was so damn loud. The shriek just got worse and worse until I felt like I couldn't take it anymore. Me and Ali were doing really bad in school, that we just had no energy at all. I could sleep more deeply with my head propped up, my eyes open in the middle of class and than in my room at night. Then, thankfully, we moved out of the house nearly a year later. I had contemplated all sorts of things, even the child's clumsy concept of suicide, to get away from the horrific noise. There was no problem at the next house. It was a nice white cookie-cutter home and on a dead-end street, and I welcomed the normalcy. What's more, we moved in here, and the bunk beds were waiting for me and Ali. No more broken bed, no more second bed. I ended up having to share anyway. The only problem was deciding who to get top bunk. I told Ali I deserved it. After all, I had gotten a new bed way back, and he ruined it by climbing in mine every night. What? He shook his head. I never did that. I had always wondered why the noise stopped the second I was sharing my bed. Now I had the answer.
And don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And remember,